I've been a pianist for more than 10 years. Every year, there is a recital, but the pandemic forced our local government to cancel large gatherings indefinitely. It was basically an unspoken agreement that there wasn't going to be a recital this year. However, a friend proposed the idea of a digital recital, and my sister and I were 100% down. Time to get playing. We decided it would be in the form of a really long video that we would stream, so we needed students to send us videos of them playing. The big debate we had was over which platform to use to stream the video. Our main candidates were Zoom and YouTube. My school used Zoom for online classes, and we weren't too fond of it because
the audio quality sucks!
However, YouTube and its whole thing with copyrighted content is pretty cruel sometimes, and we were worried that some of the pieces would get ID'd. However, a lot of the music is in the public domain due to their age, and we weren't using those copyrighted performances.
You see how messy that got very quickly?
We briefly considered Discord, but we didn't choose it because it's geared more towards gamers, and YouTube is more accessible. I was paranoid about getting copyright strikes, so we briefly considered using my friend's channel instead. However, I realized that I was going to be editing a long video, and it would get compressed if I sent it to them to stream. So we ultimately decided to use my channel to stream.
Subscribe, please!
I have to give a little context here. My sister and I already prepared the piano duo version of Ducas's The Sorcerer's Apprentice. We live in the same household, so it would be pretty easy for us to record our duo. However, there were several other pairs who don't live together, so how would they be able to record their duos or duets? We decided to test how effective it was to play duets remotely. I recorded a short video of me playing part of The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Then, my sister used my recording to record her part. I edited them together on iMovie. And besides one part being off due to one of us not counting, probably me, it was pretty good. The next thing we did was figure out how to stream one screen during a YouTube live stream. I had to get OBS to air the video, because YouTube doesn't have their own screen sharing feature. I also had to get a software that could stream my laptop's audio. Change of plans, my friend wanted to use Zoom instead. I still kept it, just in case if they changed their mind again. Anyway, the main reason was to bypass copyright claims during the stream. We were concerned that the 40-minute limit would be in place, but my friend's school account allowed for meetings longer than 40 minutes. As long as they started the meeting could be as long as it needed to be. We also agreed that I would post the entire concert on my channel as a private video, so the students and families that weren't able to join us live would be able to watch it. And no, you the public won't see it. Only I can share it with others. My friend and I video called our teacher. It was more casual than I expected, and our teacher was completely on board. That was easy. We had pre-written the email we would send to our teacher students. We sent it to our teacher so they could forward it to everyone. Don't worry, it actually worked. We decided to have the students submit videos using a Google form, because they allow for large files to be sent, so the video quality wouldn't be compromised. It only took around a week for our teacher to forward it, but submissions began rolling in at the end of June. Everything was going well.
And then, someone submitted a freaking PDF!
What the heck? Why would you do that? We changed that question on the Google form to not allow images to be submitted. Submissions really came rolling in during the last week of submissions. Several students didn't wear semi-formal clothing, a requirement we had set, so we asked them to submit new videos, which all but one didn't do. Another person submitted a video from last year's recital, which was technically not allowed under our past 12 months rule. It also featured a performer who graduated last year, so we asked our teacher to ask for permission from a graduated student to use the video. Both my sister and I were reluctant to use the footage due to our past 12 months rule, but it featured the first movement of a piano concerto that my sister and our friend were going to finish. The last day of submission was a little stressful. My sister got a notification email from Google, telling her that storage was running low and that the Google form stopped accepting responses.
What?!
We were going to close it at 11:59 that night to enforce the deadline, but we ended up closing it 2 hours early due to this storage problem, and my sister quickly called our teacher to let them know what was going on. Instead of submitting videos through the form, we had them email them directly to me. We also granted a few extensions due to the technical problem. The day after, I got a few unexpected submissions. One person was nice and apologetic. The other... I let it slide anyway. I also did a little research, and I learned that my solo piece is still under copyright. Why? And for a piece to be in the public domain in the United States, effective this year, the work has to be published in 1924 or earlier. Thankfully, the publisher of the edition I have left their contact information on their website, but I wasn't sure which license to ask for. I thought I would have to get the Grand Rights license, because this was for a recital, which is technically a staged performance. However, my sister told me that I should actually get a synchronization license, because the piece was going to be in a video. I felt really dumb. However, I did more research and determined that if I didn't want to post it publicly, I wouldn't need a license. Well, I had plans to post it publicly, so I still needed a license. Like the other students, I had to record my performances. I was tackling two pieces, the Sorcerer's Apprentice from earlier, and that copyrighted piece. I began recording on July 9th and finished on July 14th. Why did it take so long? My first day of recording wasn't bad, but it was long. I had trouble playing the copyrighted piece because I had a bunch of page turns and it's a difficult piece. To me, it's organized chaos because, yes, it seemed difficult at first glance, but after practicing it, I understand it a lot better. I had a good take and moved on to the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Remember the time we tested remote duets? I wasn't playing along to a recording, so this was my first go at trying that. Let me say, it was harder than I thought. Playing duos in person is easier because you can cooperate live and stay together by working together. However, with a pre-recorded video, I had no choice but to follow the video. It was difficult because it was hard to count with the video, and I felt my sister was rushing a little. My sister was nice enough and offered to re-record her part, but that meant I had to re-record my part as well. Oh, and this recording session was very frustrating too, because my phone ran out of storage. I deleted a bunch of videos which included the good take of the copyrighted piece! I half-asked a replacement recording of it, and I decided I would try everything again on Saturday. Saturday wasn't a great recording day either, because I hadn't slept too well the night before, and I really didn't want to record. For the copyrighted piece, I decided that I would memorize it. I went through it in my head the night prior and thought I was good to go. Nope! I mean, it was mostly there, but I constantly had memory slips in several places, and ugh! It was a mess trying to get the perfect take. I didn't even get a perfect take. But I got one where I finished the piece. I was ready. I started at an unusually early 9 AM, and...
Yeah!
I got a one-take wonder! Then I re-recorded the Dukas, when my sister barged in and sensed that I was rushing due to her rushing in the video. She insisted on re-recording her part, much to my frustration because I was trying to finish as efficiently as possible. But I let her re-record one final time. While my sister and mom ran errands, I made a mad dash to the piano to finish recording. I couldn't wear formal wear because I had put it in the laundry and it would have taken too long to put it on and take it off. Do you remember my rushing problem? To ensure that I didn't do that again, I used GarageBand to put some beats in to help me count, especially for places where I would lose my sister. It wasn't perfect, but I say it was effective in helping me stay together with my sister's video. My sister had a different experience recording. She decided to use wireless headphones because she felt the wire was troublesome. Smart, right? Well, what we didn't know at the time is that Bluetooth headphones actually cause lag. It sucks. This resulted in her videos not syncing up nicely. She ended up cutting her video in various places in a way that wouldn't make it obvious that she cut them, so the videos would stay together. In my opinion, the music is more important than a wire, so I think my method was better.
No, it's not!
I, being the YouTuber, kind of, haha, was in charge of editing the video. I downloaded all the videos that were submitted, and I put them into an iMovie. I also knew I wanted to have a timer counting down for the beginning and the intermission. I quickly animated one using my good pal Rough Animator, and I have to say, Cycles saved me so much time. Besides a normal countdown, I wanted to do something special for the final 10 seconds, like a YouTube video premiere countdown. To transition from a regular timer to the final 10 seconds, the piano keys and staff moved off screen. In addition, The 0 and colon fused and stretched into a circle encompassing the final countdown. Stop, hold on, can we change these lights? I don't like the mood. Okay, thanks. And also, what's wrong with my keyboard? I didn't do anything wrong, why is it? I didn't know what else to do, so I ended up with just chopping off 1/10 of the circle after each second. And when 0 should have showed up, I cut to black. Finding background music was really difficult. The YouTube audio library has a lot of options, but we had to look for music that wasn't too dark or too childish. And it couldn't be too elevator or fine dining restaurant-like. Oh, and I preferred that it had piano in it, because this was a piano recital. Duh.
We're not doing that here.
I let my sister help me decide, because I'm very indecisive. And this whole process took several hours. We ultimately used 5 songs, one of which we had to cut midway through, because the timer was too short to fit it. Haha. That changed during the editing process, because I was asked to make the introduction a little bit longer. I met with my friend on Zoom 5 days before the recital. It turned out that their school account wasn't activated yet, so we didn't have the no time limit privilege. In addition, the free version of Zoom doesn't allow for co-host assignment. They ended up just paying for those privileges. Thanks, man. A few days before the recital, we all met on Zoom to test some things and to work some other things out. A concern we had was that the audio was going to be garbled, but when we tested it, my sister and my friend said it was pretty good. Next, we decided to see what would happen when more people were in the call, so we invited some of our friends to join the call while I aired my and my sister's performance of The Sorcerer's Apprentice. They also said that the audio was pretty good, and there wasn't too much lag in the video. How is this all coming together so nicely? After we had more than an hour of a dinner break, we met again and worked out some logistical things. A debate we had was whether we should pre-record our speeches or say them live. I was for pre-recorded, so the quality would be better, and I wanted to make it funny.
However, I should probably stop doing that.
My friend was for live, because he wanted to keep the live aspect of it there, and it was kind of vision that the YouTube re-upload would feature some live parts from the Zoom. Okay, fair. He said that he would record those moments and send them over to me to edit before I upload it. We went over everything we talked about before calling it a day. Oh yeah, I had a funny moment 2 days before the recital. Noise cancellation. Hi! What? The day before the recital, we had one final Zoom meeting. This time, our teacher was there, and we ran through it with them. They were really supportive and approved of our plan. You think that with their approval, everything would be okay, right? Well, I couldn't sleep. Despite not being able to sleep much, I felt okay upon waking up. I felt pretty jittery and pretty shocked and just overall... What's the word? Oh yeah. Everything seemed fine until T-minus 15 minutes. I connected my laptop to its charger and Ethernet. My friend, my sister, and I logged into the meeting 5 minutes before we planned on letting people in. But because my friend had to change a chat setting, we had to leave the meeting and logged in again exactly when we were supposed to let people in. In addition, we ended up having to start around 10 minutes late, because we needed to get our stuff together. I was low-key freaking out a little, and I kept having to rewind the video to the part where the beginning countdown was at around 2 minutes. After that, we got the ship sailing. We welcomed everyone and gave them some guidelines, and then I aired the concert. For the most part, everything was okay with the video, besides a little bit of lag and a minor editing error on my sister's bit. While I was airing the video from my laptop, I was also moderating the chat from my iPad. I was anticipating the chat to go a little bit crazy, but it was literally so chill. All I did was type in the clapping emoji after every piece as my way of clapping. We intended to unmute everyone after pieces to allow them to clap aloud, but I'm pretty sure we gave up on that. Some other business I took care of was asking attendees to change their on-screen names to the name of the student they represent. I even directly messaged some people, and I'm pretty sure they didn't see my messages. Okay, this may not seem too important, but it was a little annoying to have my laptop and my iPad in the call at the same time. For some reason my iPad wouldn't allow me to mute it, so I was hearing my laptop and my delayed iPad. This got especially annoying when I addressed everyone live, because they could hear the delayed audio from my iPad as well as what I was saying live. I just wanted to punch my iPad or throw it far away or something, but I needed it for chat mod. As if it couldn't get any worse, Google Hangouts on my phone was being very slow. I couldn't send messages in a timely fashion, and that was my main form of communication with my sister and my friend. I ended up having to DM each of them individually, which was super annoying. Other than my laptop getting quite warm and a little bit of lag, the recital went really well. Our teacher thanked us for our hard work, which actually wasn't quite finished. We wanted to have seniors give speeches at the end of the concert. We needed their contact info to contact them without contacting our teacher, because we wanted it to be a surprise. We were pretty sure that we would be able to see all the email addresses when they forwarded the email, and from there we should be able to figure out who was a senior. However, we couldn't see any of the email addresses. Even though we asked for email addresses on the Google form, we still couldn't figure out who all the seniors were. We managed to figure out 5 though. And it turned out there were only 5. We didn't know that at the time. Oh yeah, my friend tried getting flowers sent to our teacher's house. We don't know if they ever got there.
Actually, they did.